Everyone, welcome to Popo Coin channel, hopefully. If you're new to the channel, you'll subscribe by the end of this video. As a result, I have been discussing the latest summit a lot lately, and it's okay whether or not you agree with what was stated. I understand that there may have been some disappointment surrounding it. However, the future of cryptocurrency in the US in particular is one of the major topics I have been examining in depth. Additionally, many of the CEOs and founders in the area feel that a seismic change has occurred. Positive interaction with these cryptocurrency-based businesses, such as Coinbase, is beginning to increase. And because we still have that Ripple case, I sincerely hope that keeps up. We haven't received that full-on green light yet, so we're still waiting on Ripple. However, I do believe that some of the most significant developments are taking place in the areas of innovation and acceptance. It is my sincere hope that it will result in strong price action. In fact, I still have a lot of optimism for 2025. I believe that this year will be fantastic for both price movement and the adoption and engagement of cryptocurrencies. But once more, let's deal with the situation at hand rather than just discussing it. First off, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong did speak with us. In fact, after the White House crypto meeting, he spoke to reporters from the platform of the press briefing. He stated that because of President Trump's leadership and the clarity of regulations, Coinbase intends to directly hire 1,000 workers in the US this year. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, we have that innovation support in the US. When we begin to see open embraces of this field, it will become accessible. In the US, there are hundreds of thousands of potential occupations. I mean, when we consider the size of these exchanges, we also consider the size of some of these cryptocurrency companies. Since it does spur economic growth, it only makes sense for them to thrive here in the US. It generates employment opportunities. Therefore, I think it's fantastic to see. In addition to that, Brad Garlinghouse also spoke to us. In cryptocurrency, he said some weeks might feel like months. One of them was this. From the CFTC CEO Roundtable to the White House Crypto Summit and the volume of news that was announced, congratulations to the Net Crypto Association. Many days have passed. Much discussion has centered on the priorities that this White House has set for its crypto agenda. Above all, congressional action to clarify regulations, a Bitcoin reserve and cryptocurrency stockpile, support for stablecoin innovation backed by U.S. Treasuries, and more. Seeing this administration's amazing support made me very happy. There's a lot more to this industry than the time-wasting bluster and infighting, but it's easy to get caught up in some of the maxi-induced noise. We will continue to advocate for level playing fields as we have always done, and it was wonderful to hear other attendees agree. It was also encouraging to see the industry unite in support of urgently needed reform in the United States. In striking contrast to the Biden administration's hospitality, we would want to express our gratitude to Donald Trump for opening the White House and welcome us. Thanks to Caroline D. Pam for hosting us at the CFTC, David Sachs and Bo Hines for a very historic summit, and here are a few pictures from the event. We're just getting to glimpse a few of the members who were present. We are aware that the chain link existed. We are aware that the CFTC was present, along with a number of other industry players. We are aware that Caroline D. Pam visited the Ripple offices and that the company has met with the CFTC on several occasions. They were in the midst of the litigation at the time, so I've always said that, and I still do, because of how important it was. Caroline D. Pam did a tour of Ripple in 2022. Actually, in September of that year, Brad Garlinghouse met her. She discussed what was going on at the time with Brad Garlinghouse, and I have no doubt that she is aware of the SEC's recent actions on Ripple. I can only imagine what they discussed. I'm sure there is a lot of information that we haven't yet been given, so I wish we had a little more information on what was discussed, what was addressed, and the overall plan of action moving ahead. Let's get over here, though, outside of here. According to Brian Armstrong, who is quoted by Johnny Deaton, stablecoin laws and market structure bills are long overdue. They should stop applying 1,946 case law and 1,930 statuses to current blockchain and artificial intelligence technology, and the CFTC should provide clear guidelines for its administration of digital commodities. Centralized oversight of exchanges as well, protection of customer accounts in the event of the centralized custodian and exchange going bankrupt, and no mixing of customer funds. When using leverage, 100% of reserves are informed of the liquidation procedures. Reforming tax laws, such as those pertaining to property versus money categories. Certain payments made with cryptocurrencies shouldn't result in liabilities, capital gains, or changes to the accredited investor rule. Hopefully, we'll do a fantastic job. And I concur wholeheartedly. Indeed, one of my main points has always been that you shouldn't be taxed when you sell cryptocurrency or turn it into a stablecoin, particularly when it comes to the capital gains aspect. I don't get that at all. The stablecoin shouldn't be taxed if it remains part of the ecosystem. Now, I can tax it all day long if I convert a stablecoin into US dollars and deposit the money into my bank account. I don't give a damn. However, since it's staying on the digital asset community side, I shouldn't be taxed on the gains if I reinvest the money and it stays in the ecosystem. For example, I don't comprehend the concept of selling into a steady point in order to realize capital gains. I don't understand it at all. However, I do hope that some adjustments will be made regarding many of these, especially the 5 that John listed, as I really believe that many of these issues require legislation. And it seems to me that we are beginning to understand it, and in a moment I will discuss that here. Let's take a look at what Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director of the IMF, said on March 5th. Subjective views deserves a special mention because, in addition to the stable currency laws that we already have, the new U.S. administration is quickly changing its policies about trade taxes, public spending, deregulation, and digital assets. Take a look. We also know that trade has stopped, the force behind world expansion that it once was. Additionally, we are experiencing significant changes such as the quick development of AI and shifting trends in trade and money flows. This is the backdrop against which we are gathering as governments throughout the world are refocusing their objectives. The new U.S. government is quickly changing its stance on deregulation, trade, taxes, public expenditure, and digital assets. Additionally, other countries are modifying their policies and recalibrating their strategies. Additionally, she also mentioned that it's not exclusive to the United States. Since there is no time to fall behind, other governments are also taking this action. Everything has changed entirely. With regard to this technology, we have seen a profound change. Just because XRP isn't part of the reserve doesn't mean that we should ignore what's going on in this market right now. You mean it doesn't matter? Those policies are the main focus here, regulation, as those are what truly lead us to the destination. The moment at when price action is truly no longer a concern for us. This area has just been completely occupied. Due to its widespread use, its prices are skyrocketing due to its usefulness. We get there that way. Now, however, as we truly concentrate on that, the final phase of this, known as rules, is being expedited. They are quickly changing the policy of every government in the world. Furthermore, we received a significant update from the Financial Services GOP. In order to encourage the Commission to eliminate the barriers imposed by the Biden administration on digital assets, the chairman of the committee wrote to SEC Gov Acting Chair Mark Ueda. Once more, this is a big step, and it will be incredibly large for the space if these are taken out. However, I continue to focus on one situation that needs to be resolved, and that is the Ripple case. Here I absolutely concur with Crypto Bully. The case of Ripple must be resolved. We have the complete press release, though, over here. I have now opened this up. It's a serious letter. I went to write a summary. All right, so here's a summary of it. The letter to Acting SEC Chair Ueda, therefore, calls for a change to a more supportive regulatory posture and condemns the SEC's previous approach to digital assets during the Biden administration. There is optimism for improvement with new leadership and Paul Atkins as the next chair.